This is Prowl 1701, and today we're doing a review of the Sabers Chosen One. This is a saber that's been on my want list for quite a while, especially since I already have the graphics. This, of course, is the Sabers version of Darth Vader's saber, used in the original Star Wars trilogy. It's definitely a premium hilt. It's really nice. I have a 32-inch mid-grade blade on it. I always prefer to keep a 32-inch blade on my sabers. My rule about that when you're picking your saber size is if you're 6 feet or over, you should probably get a 36-inch blade. If you're under 6 feet, you should get a 32-inch blade. A 36-inch blade, the balance is just off for me. I don't really care for it. Anyway, let's have a look at this hilt. It's a nice slanted emitter. Right there. The blade, of course, is removable. I'm not going to do it because it's a process. It doesn't come out as easy as some of the hilts, I believe. I haven't really messed with it. But the blade is removable in case you want to display it without the blade in. You can actually see one of the retention screws, it looks like right here. And we have a couple decorative screws. Although I do believe this one unscrews. I'm not quite sure if there's another retention screw hidden in there or not. Again, I haven't really played around with it. Usually I play around with these for a few more days before I review it. I just got it in not long ago. But I wanted to go ahead and get the review done while I had the time. It's got these windows right here. Now there's two ways you can get this. You can get it to where the blade light shines through the windows and where the blade light does not shine through the windows. I actually have mine where the blade light, the red light, actually does shine through the windows. I like the way that looks. I know it's not very movie accurate, but I like the way it looks, so I went ahead and got that. We got an activation box. This one does come standard with an activation box. They have several different choices you can get. You can get this activation box right here in black or silver. And you can also choose whether the switch comes in black or silver. So I could have had a black box with a black switch, a black box with a silver switch with a, or a silver box with a silver switch, a black box with a silver switch. I could have had about 4 different combinations there. I like the fact that the neck right here, the little piece that holds that in, is black. That looks really sharp. And of course you have this little claw right here, which has moved a little bit. I don't particularly care for this. I need to tighten that down. You can get a little hex wrench to tighten that down. I really don't care for this piece. It's removable. I may end up taking it off. It's just a little hex screw you got to take out right there. This is uncomfortable, especially that little slot. This right here will rub your hand. That's a little sharp. Not enough to cut it, but it irritates me. This saber is very difficult to duel with, much like the graphics, but even more uncomfortable. Got a black CoverTech wheel right there. Got these really nice grips. Now this is a hard plastic. I know it's easy to mistake it maybe for rubber or something. It's not rubber. It's a very hard plastic, which I prefer. And then we have a nice little pommel. It's kind of simple, but it fits the saber really well. Now, I have the V3 soundboard in it. I was supposed to have the V4. They accidentally sent it with the V3. I'm talking with them about that now. I think I'm just gonna get them to give me a little store credit for it because I would just keep it on the Obsidian font mainly anyway, so it's not a big deal. And it's in the Tri-Blazing Red, which has a triple LED setup in the emitter. It's a very nice shade of red. Naturally, it doesn't quite show up on camera the way it does in person, but this red you're seeing right here, the glow effect, is very indicative of what the blade looks like in person. Now, for red, I always prefer a mid-grade blade. I don't like the way red looks in an Ultra Edge. It just looks a lot better in a mid-grade, in my opinion, and that's also the general consensus on the forum. You can see the light shining through the emitter lights right there. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm really tired. It's been a long week, so my words are slurring a bit. Got the Obsidian soundboard right there. Just to measure it a little bit, here it is next to the Prophecy, which of course is their take on Anakin's Attack of the Clones saber, and my personal favorite hilt of all time. You can see that the Chosen One is much more massive. But this is the most comfortable hilt I've ever had. That is very uncomfortable to duel with. I mean, it's a great saber. I think it's a good showpiece, but I think it's uncomfortable to duel with. And then, of course, we have the Dominic's. There it is, right next to a V3 Dominic's. So it's not as long as you might think, but still plenty long enough. And Bellicose. And this is actually another one of my favorite hilts. The Bellicose is a really, really good premium hilt. And as you can see, it's a lot longer than the Chosen One. Now, I'm going to do a separate video where I compare the Chosen One to the Graphics, so I'll just save that for that. I'm going to go ahead and hand the camera off to my cameraman. He's back. He's feeling better. The cameraman is back. And then we'll talk about the hilt a little more. I'm going to show you what I mean. It's really uncomfortable. I mean, it's cool for just holding. Like, when you're holding it in your hands, you kind of feel like you're holding a piece of Star Wars history. You know, it's Darth Vader's saber, and Darth Vader is, in a lot of people's opinions, kind of the highest, the #1 character in Star Wars. Usually if they do polls, he's kind of the #1 character. He's, you know, he makes #1 villain list on the villains list all the time. Joker's usually 2, Vader's usually 1. He's such an iconic character. So it's really neat to hold the saber. It's not heavy. It's got a nice light weight to it, even though it's a big saber. And weight-wise, it's easy to swing and easy to use. I don't have any problems with it. It's just, it's bulky, and that little piece that sticks out right here I talked about before makes it uncomfortable. Like, I'm fine doing this, but once I start, you know, kind of swinging it around, like already, it's uncomfortable. I just really can't use it as well as I'd like. But it's a fantastic hilt. That doesn't help much. Let me cut the other light off. As you can see, it is very bright. Again, this is the Tri-Red setup. It costs about $15 extra, but it is worth it. You can see how well it illuminates, and it's daylight outside. But it illuminates really, really well. So I like the hilt. I don't regret it. That piece really is about to pop off, but I'm about to take it off anyway, that little uncomfortable spot. So my thoughts on the Chosen One, to break it down simply, are it's a great saber. It's comfortable. Well, it's comfortable just to hold. It's very uncomfortable to duel with. Do not duel with this saber for more than like 2 seconds. But I'm glad to own it. It's a nice piece of Star Wars history. As I said, I prefer it with the windows right here. I'm glad I got it. It had been at the top of my wish list for a while. And they were doing a 10% off sale. It is an inexpensive hilt, so that's worth it. And of course, it looks fantastic with a red blade. Anyway, this is the Chosen One. It definitely gets my seal of approval. And I'll do a comparison video with it, with the graphics, shortly. So this is Prowl 171, and thank you for watching.